Welcome back everyone. I am Saptaparni from BioLive. Hope all of you are doing very well. So in today's video we are going to discuss about lethal alleles. Okay. See, this is a very important topic of genetics. So if you really like this video and understand this video well, I would like to request you to kindly press the like button below and share it with your friends. Okay. And if you are new to my channel, I would like to request you to kindly subscribe to my channel for more such videos. So without further delay, let's get started. See, there are certain genes in our body which are absolutely essential for our survival. Okay. And when these genes get mutated, they may give rise to such alleles which can result in death of the organism. Okay. So such alleles, such mutated alleles which may give rise to the death of the organism are known as lethal alleles. Okay. And this gene, which is very essential for survival in its non-mutated form, is known as essential gene. Okay, got it? So I think the concept of essential gene and its lethal allele is clear to you. Now let's understand what are the different types of lethal alleles present. See, lethal alleles can be of two types. One is dominant lethal allele and another one is recessive lethal allele. So from the name it is evident that these type of lethal alleles are dominant in nature. That means they will show their phenotype. That means they will show their lethality in both homozygous and heterozygous condition. Okay, so say capital A is the dominant lethal allele here. Okay, so in its homozygous condition, that is capital A, it will show lethality, as well as in its heterozygous condition, that is capital A small a, it will also show lethality. Okay. Another thing that you must remember that these dominant lethal alleles are very rare in nature. Why they are very rare? See, because the person who carries this dominant lethal allele actually gets dead at very early age. Okay, and the age is so early that it cannot attain the reproductive age. So if it cannot reproduce, then how will the lethal allele, dominant lethal allele will be transmitted from one generation to another generation? So generally it is lost in the same generation. That is why dominant lethal alleles are very rare in nature. Okay. Still, we can see some examples of dominant lethal allele in nature, like Huntington disease in human is caused by a dominant lethal allele, it is autosomal dominant trait, okay, which results in deformity of central nervous system or progressive problems in central nervous system. Okay, and epiloia, which results in skin deformities, skin tumors, multiple tumors in skin, okay, in human. So these two diseases are result of dominant lethal alleles in human. Okay. Now coming to the next type, that is recessive lethal alleles, which is very common in nature. Okay, which is more common in nature than dominant lethal alleles. See, obviously from the name it is evident that these type of lethal alleles are recessive in nature. That means they will only show lethality or the lethal phenotype when they will be present in homozygous condition. Okay, say small a is the recessive lethal allele here. Okay, so only in homozygous recessive condition, that is small a genotype, will only show lethality or lethal phenotype. Okay, whereas the heterozygote, that is capital A small a, will be the carrier. Okay, it will carry the lethal allele small a. It may show some disease conditions too, but it will not get dead. Okay, this progeny will not get dead. So as it is not getting dead, so that means it can reproduce. So by the process of reproduction, these small a allele or these recessive lethal allele can be transmitted from one generation to the next generation. Okay, see here, if two carriers of this small a recessive lethal allele, okay, is crossed, then obviously which progeny can be formed? One will be homozygous for capital A, one will be homozygous for small a, and two will be heterozygote for capital A, small a. Now you can see these small a from one from father and one from mother is inherited in this progeny, and due to the presence of recessive lethal allele in homozygous condition, these progeny will die or it will show lethal phenotype. Okay, whereas other three will survive. So that is how the recessive lethal allele can be transmitted from one generation to another generation by the carriers. Okay, got it. Now, another important concept regarding lethal allele is that you must not think that always a phenotypically dominant allele will be a dominant lethal allele, or always a phenotypically recessive allele will be a recessive lethal allele. The thing can be changed too. Okay, see, what does it say? It says phenotypically dominant allele. Okay, the allele which is phenotypically dominant can also be a recessive lethal allele. Okay, so these condition can also be present, and there are several examples regarding this. Okay, see, the curly wing mutant allele in Drosophila is a phenotypically dominant allele over the wild or normal wing type allele CY+. So CY is a mutant allele, okay, which results in curly wing mutation in Drosophila. And this mutant allele is phenotypically dominant over the wild type of wing allele, that is CY+. Okay, so see here, CY, the curly mutant allele, is dominant over wild type wing allele, that is CY+. Okay, so according to this, in both homozygous and heterozygous condition, CY should show curly phenotype. Okay, so see here, in heterozygous condition, CY+, is showing curly wing. But you can see in homozygous condition, CY is not showing curly wing. Okay, rather the progeny is getting dead. Okay, so why this is happening? And on the other hand, another thing is that as the CY+ is phenotypically recessive, so in homozygous recessive condition, the CY+ will show wild type wing. That is okay, that is fine. But the question lies here, why, being a phenotypically dominant allele, in homozygous condition the CY is not showing curly wing, rather it is dying, the progeny is dying? Because you have to remember that though CY is a phenotypically dominant allele, but it is also a recessive lethal allele. That is why in homozygous condition, the CY progeny is getting dead. It is not surviving and not showing the curly wing. Okay, so this is the example that sometimes the phenotypically dominant allele can also be a recessive lethal allele. Okay, and this was first demonstrated by scientist Q0. So let's take a look through the example. Okay, let me first arrange this page. Okay, see here, scientist LQ0 found that if he crossed two yellow mice, okay, which are heterozygote in nature, capital AY, capital A, capital AY, capital A, where capital AY is the yellow body color allele which is dominant over non-yellow body color allele, that is capital A. Okay, so by crossing these two heterozygous yellow mouse in F1 generation, he should get, according to Mendelian genetics, he should get one capital AY yellow mice, two capital AY capital A, that is two heterozygote yellow mice, okay, and one capital A that is non-yellow mice, homozygous recessive non-yellow mice. Okay, I am talking about phenotype. Okay, but here so the yellow is to non-yellow ratio should be 3:1. Okay, But in this case, Q0 found that the ratio is not 3:1, rather the ratio is 2:1. So what happened? Why it is 2:1, not 3:1? When he examined the genotype of these two yellow mice, he found that there is only heterozygote yellow mice present. Two heterozygote yellow mice are there. But there is no homozygote yellow mice. That is, there is no capital AY yellow mice genotype is there. And these capital AY mice are dead. Okay, dead in the uterus. So what happened? Why, being the phenotypically dominant allele AY cannot produce a homozygous yellow mice? That is capital AY. Why it cannot produce these homozygous yellow mice? Then it was found that the explanation was that capital AY, though it is a phenotypically dominant allele, but capital AY is actually a recessive lethal allele. That is why in homozygous condition, capital AY cannot survive and this progeny dies. Okay. So this progeny cannot show yellow color phenotype, yellow color body color or yellow coat color due to recessive lethality. Okay. And the phenotypic ratio gets modified from 3:1 to 2:1 in case of recessive lethality. Okay. So I think the concept is clear to you now. Okay. Some other examples of recessive lethal alleles are like plum eyes in Drosophila, stubble bristle alleles in Drosophila. Then I have already discussed about yellow body color allele in mice. Then in case of human, Tay-Sachs disease in human, okay, which results due to mutation in hexa gene, which results in abnormal formation of an enzyme and nervous deformities. Okay, deformities in our nervous tissue. Okay, then hemophilia is also a X-linked is also a recessive lethal allele, but you have to remember that it is X-linked, not autosomal. Okay, so this is all about lethality, and from this we can conclude that though some phenotypically dominant alleles like curly wing mutant allele or yellow body color allele is phenotypically dominant over the non-yellow body color allele or they are the wild type wing allele, okay, but still they can be recessive in nature. So phenotypically dominant allele can also be recessive in nature in terms of their lethality. Okay, so this is all about lethal alleles. I hope the concept is crystal clear to you. If you found this video useful, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more such videos, because your subscription keeps me enthusiastic about making video every day. Okay, so please do subscribe. Thanks for watching and happy learning.